It's time to gather around the radio for another episode of Comic.Church, hosted by Pastor Drew, the Fairy Godbro, and the Reverend Sith Lord himself, Jesse Stay, and the Monsignor of Marvel, Sean Ray. Broadcasting live from the K-Talk Studios, KBJA 1640 AM, and streaming live with video on Facebook. And now, Comic.Church.
Welcome. Happy Sunday morning.
Good morning.
You guys having fun yet?
Top of the morning.
I am. My morning's getting started. Adderall's about to kick in, and
It's always good. You got your go pills.
it's prescription Adderall.
And I can verify.
I truly have ADHD.
He is very handicapped in that area. So.
I did
true.
take my
That
handful of medication.
It's a strength, not a handicap. I enjoy my faster than normal brain, which, by the way, I am working to get my friend Peter Shankman, who does a book called Faster Than Normal, on either this show or mine on Thursdays or something. But we'll figure it out. I'm hoping I can get him here. He's cool.
Nice. We're looking forward to that.
Speaking of ADHD.
Squirrel?
So yeah,
What were we talking about?
Huh?
What? Who? So yeah, we got everything up and going. I think we're ready to go. We're doing a back-to-back Comic.Church this month.
Yeah, I had some other engagements going on next weekend, and there were some other guests that you guys wanted on your other show that weren't going to be here this weekend, so it almost kind of worked out.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well. Last week, we were going through the comic realms. Looking at all the different types of relationships for a special Valentine's Day episode.
Yeah.
And just looking to see who has healthy relationships, who has the toxic relationships, and who needs to work on it.
Yeah, and that's something that we can always go back into, because there were so many more relationships. I mean, even after the episode, there was like, oh, I wanted to bring up this person or this relationship or, this aspect. And, I mean, even the family mentality. I wanted to bring up like kids, and all that stuff. There was so much more to go off of, but it was pretty good. But so this week, with everything that we got going on, we kind of were starting to plan a schedule, starting to plan other things that we wanted to talk about, especially with a couple movies that are coming out, a couple of news things that have just come out this last week.
We have quite a few things all coming out next month or so.
Yeah. Oh man.
And so we're going to get into that, get into some of those, and
I think we should do like almost like a review, like this is what's going on this next month or something, so that everybody knows what to look forward to, what shows are out there. I mean, that's something that the three of us have kind of discussed a lot too, is, have you seen this show? Have you seen this show? And we kind of go back and forth with each other, and there are just way too many shows out there right now.
There are.
I cannot keep up. I don't have enough time. I probably didn't get to my house at all once this last week before 10 o'clock at night.
Sounds like my week.
I had a pretty good lazy week. So. I was recovering from that cold that's going around. So
yeah,
I think I need a cold to force myself to be able to sleep. Knock on
a lot
wood.
of sleep. It cuts back on the appetite. So I think I lost about 8 pounds.
That's a good thing.
Last week. So
next week I have a dental appointment that they're gonna go back in and do some bone grafting and stuff like that. And so maybe I'll have a couple days where I can have some rest time.
At least ask them for nitrous.
Yeah, well, they're gonna sedate me enough that I'm not gonna really be.
Now you know how Deadpool feels.
just enough to kind of keep me right there. But so let's.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been talking about lots of shows. Last week, I told everyone that you should go watch that show Russian Doll on Netflix. And we were going to talk about it if Comic.Church was going to be next week, because I think before we talk about it, I don't want to spoil. That's one of those shows like you don't want a spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they say it's like Groundhog Day. First of all, it's not. Go into it completely not expecting anything, and then try to figure it. Like that is the best way to watch that show. So we're going to postpone the Russian doll Comic.Church conversation until our next episode.
When I go in and watch a show like that, I want to go in and watch every one of those episodes without anything in between.
Yeah.
Because right now I have so many different shows that I'm watching, and I have to watch this one episode on this show, and then
I'm sorry, I was distracted by Jesse not being able to know how to
put your phone on mute.
But problem is I put it on mute. But when you play, you have to like turn the volume down too. I wish that like when it's on mute, it's on mute.
Well, and I think your phone every time
iPhone.
it vibrates, the microphone picks it up too. So
yeah. So put it on mute.
But I have the headphone on, so I can hear that.
But no, so like there's so many shows, and I want to be able to go in and completely focus on this one show instead of in between, watching other episodes. So I think I looked it up on Netflix, and there's, I'm not sure, 8 to 10 episodes
of
Russian Doll.
Yeah, I believe it's 8 episodes. Such a great thinking show. And be very alert to everything that happens. You know, with those Groundhog Day type shows where it's like, oh, they started again. It's not a reset. So that's the only spoiler I'm going to give.
Does it have a good ending though?
It does.
Because like Lost really disappointed me as a good thinking show.
And again, I will disagree with you on that because I thought the ending of Lost was amazing.
Okay.
And they shouldn't have to answer every question for you because you should have the critical thinking to try to figure it out. And
but
also,
that's the problem is I was because it's a thinking show. I
wanted
it to work out the way that I was thinking. Yeah.
The thing is with that show, there was about 3 seasons in between where it was like they didn't know what was going on. You didn't know what was going on. I mean, the ending was decent. The beginning was decent. There was just the in-between for me.
I disagree. I think if you go back and watching again, you'll see that those in-betweens did have an essential part of the full entire storyline.
There were some little things. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but when I watched that, I was back. I would only watch that show while I was running on the treadmill. So I watched that entire series while I was running on a treadmill. So that was something that motivated me. I need to watch the next episode, and I told myself I'd only do it on the treadmill. But I'm one of the type of people where if I do start a series or something like that, I've got to finish it. Yeah. I can't leave it ended. So I have
a few of those right now that like they're really good shows, and I can't finish it because I keep running out of time, and that's the worst because like then I have to re-pick up where I started again to be able to get back into it, and it's tough.
Speaking of one of those, we had talked about Legion.
One of
the last.
Yes.
So I brought this in, and I'm gonna give it to Jesse to watch when you have some time.
Okay.
This is the first season, and the thing that I like about this is it ends on season 3. They're done. They're done after season 3, and so I like some of those shows where it's like, okay, like Gotham. They're like, this is the last season. So I started picking that show back up and watching it again, and it's pretty fun just because I know there's an ending. As if some of these other ones like Flash and Green Arrow, and I'm like, okay, when are these going to end? I started watching Supernatural back in the day, and now they're like on season 13. I was like, this is a never ending. So I brought in my copy, and
I accept the challenge.
And it's a good, and it's like one of those ones that kind of like this Russian doll where you gotta pay attention to that one.
That's okay. I'm excited. This is a good one.
And Legion is good. So I've seen the first season.
It's a Marvel series.
It's a Marvel series
on FX. It says so.
Yes.
I haven't even. I'll be honest. I haven't fully even heard of it. So like I'm
it's
like
also
failing
on,
my geekdom
It's also
here.
on Hulu.
Perfect.
Okay.
No, not many people had even heard about it. Like my younger brother talked about this. years before they even kind of. He's like, "Did you hear about this?" And I was like,
"It's got a great cast too." That's
wow.
the other thing.
It's
got an amazing cast. What's his name from Downton Abbey?
Flight of the Conchords in there. He's the Beast. I didn't even realize in the new Beauty and the Beast movie, the live action, he's the Beast.
What's his name?
I can't remember. It says it on the box.
So it's got Dan Stevens, Rachel Keller, Aubrey Plaza. Was awesome. Gene Smart. Wow, that's good.
It's got a great cast. It's just beautifully written, and I'm excited to see how they're going to conclude it.
Do you know what is another show I started watching? It just dropped on Netflix. Pine Gap. Have you seen that one?
No.
So it's about the Pine Gap spy facility in Australia.
Okay.
By Alice Springs. And
so there's no comic relation. So that's probably.
I think they're probably I think it could fall into the pop culture genre.
Okay.
But it's a really it's 6 episode. I think I binged through 4 of them last night. So that's another good one to.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of, I wanted to talk about it a little later, and we will. I'll drop it real quick. Is the Umbrella Academy?
Oh yes, you were mentioning
they
that.
just dropped that over the week, and that was one that I, almost slipped through the cracks until it was like, hey, this is suggested for you, and
so for those that don't know what Umbrella Academy, and I'm only going off the preview of what it was. Mm-hmm. So I guess there were a bunch of babies born without mothers. They were adopted up, and they have superpowers of some sort. And then the school, I guess, goes defunct, and now they're a bunch of cynical adult rejects who realize that they have to save the world in 7 days or something like that. Is that the basis of it?
So what it is, and it's got some decent people. I mean, Ellen Page is in it.
Yeah.
So what it is, back in the 30s, I want to say, I can't remember the date. I should have wrote it down. But these women just instantly are pregnant. Don't know why, don't know what. So, they're pregnant, and within the day, they're having the baby. I know a lot of women that would love that kind of pregnancy.
So it's an Anakin Skywalker pregnancy.
Type of thing, yeah. And then...
Or Jesus.
Or Jesus.
a billionaire, an eccentric billionaire. His name is the Monocle. This is all. It's a Dark Horse comic.
Yeah.
So this is a comic book. It's based off of a comic book. So this billionaire goes through, and I don't know why he only goes in and he adopts 7 of these kids. He pays for them and everything like that. I don't know who would, but. So, I mean, it breaks it down. The first kid is Luther, and right now, from what I'm telling, he is extremely strong. The second kid is Diego. He's really good at knife throwing. He can bend knives. I mean, he goes in there and throws a knife, and it bends around a room. And the third one is Allison. Her nickname is Rumor. So, basically, she can tell you... I heard a rumor that you're this, and you believe it. 4th kid, Klaus, he can talk to the dead. 5th kid is Boy, he time travels. 6th is Ben. 7th is Vanya, and that's Ellen Page. So what happens is the kid that can time travel goes through time, breaks into the future, and realizes that, there's the end of the world. Finds a way back after like 30 years, and after Monocle has died, all of them get back together, and the time travel, the boy has to figure out, hey, this event happens in 7 days. We need to figure a way to stop it. And so
sounds awesome.
That's kind of where I'm at. It's pretty good.
Yeah. We're headed up to break. We'll pick this up when we get back. You're listening to Comic.Church on K-Talk, AM 1640, real local two-way talk.
The Kubota L2501 tractor is one of the best-selling compact tractors in America for a reason. They're comfortable, spacious, easy to control, and have a range of performance-matched implements to tackle all kinds of jobs. Right now, get a Kubota L2501 with a 6-year warranty, plus 0% APR financing for up to 60 months, or great customer instant rebates. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Find a Kubota dealer near you at GoKubota.com. When the fake news stations are slick as ice this winter, cut through with K-Talk Media, your favorite local talk station.
AARP is the nation's largest nonprofit, nonpartisan organization dedicated to empowering Americans 50 and older to choose how they live as they age. No limits, no labels. Aging is changing. Visit aarp.org/UT for more information. Make the most of each day with AARP.
When a challenge rises up, do we let it stand in our way or go the distance to overcome it? I didn't want to stay at the bottom, but after I was shot in Afghanistan, I was told I'd never walk again, if I even survived. My wife and healthcare providers were there to help me climb my hill. I learned that psychological care is key to recovery from both physical and invisible wounds. Decide now that I will take the first step. Visit realwarriors.net or call 800-874-2273.
Hi, I'm Gary Sinise. Our veterans put everything on the line to protect our freedom. We may never be able to repay them for their sacrifice, but we can show them just how much we appreciate all they've done. Please visit www.volunteer.va.gov.
The weekend is coming, and you need to plan a date night. You could go to a movie and dinner, but there's nothing original about that. Here's a new and exciting idea. Take your date indoor shooting at the Armory Gun Range. Instead of renting a bowling lane or playing miniature golf, yay, you can rent a shooting lane at the Armory Gun Range. Impress your spouse or your date with your original plan. The Armory can provide both guns and ammo, and rookies are welcome.
I would be excited if my boyfriend took me shooting. The Armory is located in Sandy at 9210 South and 248 West. The phone number is 801-447-1789. Again, that is 801-447-1789. You can also check out their website at armoryshootingrange.com. The range is open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
The Armory Gun Range, blowing holes in boring date nights.
Welcome back, comic fans. We now return to Comic.Church, leaving you right where we left off before the break. And now here's your host, Pastor Drew the Fairy Godbrother, the Monsignor of Marvel, Sean Ray, and the Reverend Sith Lord himself, Jesse Stay.
Welcome back.
I feel like I need an evil voice.
It's too early.
I had a lot of fun with that at Lagoon's Frightmares, that laugh, just going up around random places. I like doing crazy things like that and like scaring people with the laugh. I don't know. It's my weird sense of humor.
That just brings Halloween time. I love that. I love scaring people. I love doing that. The masks and everything. Just so fun.
Oh, I'm excited.
Good times.
Good times. Good times.
Good times.
Good times.
So we were kind of going over some of the other shows and everything like that. We were just talking about Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
So far, from what I've noticed, they're staying pretty true to the comic. I just kind of glanced over some of the comics and stuff like that. I remember seeing them. Dark Horse was kind of not one of the bigger known comic books and stuff like that. They kind of a branch off some guys that left Marvel and started their own little comics. But so yeah, I started watching that. That was pretty good. I mean, again, that goes off to there's so many shows, and that one just dropped. There's 10 episodes, and I'm 3 in, and I'm trying to catch up with everything else that's going on. I mean, I could probably get through 1.5 episodes a night because I've got so many other shows that I've been watching and everything. So.
And Jesse's over there taking
he's
selfies of himself.
It's actually video. You guys think you're like doing the picture and like Drew's putting up his peace signs and stuff. I'm getting like Instagram and Snapchat video together to put on my channels, because like on Instagram, if you do the stories, you swipe up. Yeah, you swipe up, and it goes to the link for the show. So that's what I'm doing.
Oh,
here.
okay.
It's kind of cool.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And we're all watching you do that.
So much technology.
Everyone's watching me do it. Yeah.
Jesse knows all the technology stuff. He's always telling us, hey, if you do this, he's, in between the break, he was telling us about some of his other shows that he watches. What are the other shows that you have? You've got some other podcast and everything that you do.
Oh yeah, so Thursday mornings I'm now doing on K-Talk Radio. I'm doing I'm doing the Social Geek Live. It's facebook.com/Social Geek Live, or you can search for it. We're bringing in some of the top experts from around the world.
You had a sex expert on last week.
We actually did. Yeah, that was for Utah audience. That was a very interesting conversation. It probably should have been a little later at night, but it was a good conversation. We talked about the future of dating apps on Valentine's Day,
Nice.
and my friend Adrienne Ashley came in, and she's building a very futuristic blockchain, like Bitcoin-like technology based dating app that identifies with complete accuracy consent between parties and stuff for protection of both parties and stuff like that. Very interesting software. She's going to debut it at South by Southwest this year. But we talk about stuff like that and
Nice.
Technology. Every first Thursday we talk about Bitcoin and blockchain and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
So that's Thursday mornings here on K-Talk.
Yeah, it's going to start this week at 10 a.m.
Oh,
we've been doing
nice.
9 a.m. We've been doing 9 a.m. Thus far. This Thursday we're actually going to start at 10 a.m. I'll surprise you with what we're going to talk about. I'm working on it right now.
Excited about
I'll have
that.
to go back and listen to the dating one. That one sounds kind of interesting.
It was a fun conversation.
Yeah, Jesse's always giving me the advice. Hey, you need to do this and put this, and so I mean,
I am no expert.
And
I was starting to get into it. So
and again, I find it ironic.
Well, you don't have to.
That the dating advice is coming from.
It needs to come from Drew. Drew's the one that needs the dating advice.
The dating
and that
needs to give the
and
dating
that is
advice.
the craziest aspect of this whole thing. It's like I'm the stable relationship guy in this equation. It's like what? But
yeah,
well,
anyway.
you've got two males that know what they want.
The cool thing. I mean, this is another one for like a relationships episode, but the cool thing about that I love about dating and relationships and stuff is it's taught me a lot about gender psychology, and the fact is
we will never understand females.
Well, I mean, the fact is different genders, the different genders have different ways of thinking and reacting and responding. We like to think we're all equal, but we have different hormones. We have different ways that we there's cultural elements as well.
Being
And
straight
knowing the
sounds
psychology
so exhausting.
of that. But I mean, even
Females dealing with females.
No, there's
is
psychology as
exhausting.
well. Like you go into to gays and lesbians, and there's different psychology there too. So it's a fascinating topic as to like how the different and gender may not be the only thing. I think sexual preference as well is another element of that, and it's just that's what I really love about entering the dating scene as a relatively new single dad is it's my analytical brain goes off in wow, there's so much to learn here about how intergender dynamics work.
I hate it.
And it's once it becomes like I'm learning thing here, it becomes a little more fun. It gets tiring sometimes. Like this last week, I had a week. It was interesting. I was just like, maybe it was Valentine's Day. I don't know, but I was exhausted by the end of the week. And it's not all dating, but yeah, I really like that.
Want to know another topic of a really bad breakup?
Yeah.
James Gunn, Marvel, and DC. And I think we're going to talk about that right now.
Oh, and another crazy aspect of whatever mentality is, Harley Quinn's in there. We'll throw some Harley Quinn in there. But so the whole thing with James Gunn, this happened several months ago where James Gunn was fired from Disney.
Yes.
For tweets that he did back in, I want to say 2008.
Yeah, and so the drama of it goes, there's some people on the alt-right side that are mad that some of their people got in trouble with tweets, so they made it a thing. They're going to go after all the lefties, all the liberals, and bring up bad tweets, and then we're going to force them liberals, to fire their people because they made inappropriate things just like us. So
a lot of it came about when recently he had mentioned some stuff about Trump. in some of his tweets. And so that's what people got upset about. Went back and found some tweets that James Gunn had done.
And then Disney and Marvel
10 years
overreacting real quick.
And they
fired
said,
him.
we got to be done. You're done. Even though he has come out and said he has completely formally apologized for everything like that. I mean, they were pretty obscure tweets. I mean, there were some pedophilia, rape tweets and things like that. They were pretty.
They were jokes, and he was bringing to light, and the fact is, has pedophilia, has rape, and has sexual assault been a hallmark of Hollywood dating back to the golden era in the 30s and the 40s, and the truth is it absolutely has.
This whole Me Too movement with everything, and I'm so glad that they're getting rid of a lot of these people and hopefully cleaning house, like Weinstein and a lot of these guys that have done that. And
but does someone making and some can agree, an inappropriate, sarcastic comment bringing light to these issues. Now James Gunn has never been affiliated or been accused of pedophilia or being part of, like the Bryan Singer things and stuff like that. So, but he was making commentary on
it was
that.
Comical, in the light of the events that were going on. Like he was at parties and things like that, those kind of people were joking around. And so it was just kind of...
It brings the question: are we going too far? Are we becoming an offended society? There's reasons to get offended.
There is.
Are we losing forgiveness? I just want to bring up an example. Just like yesterday, I was commenting on a post about this. There was a mountain lion that visited Riverton here locally in Utah, and they caught it. One of the local, I'm posing this. I mean, our local audience understands, but I'm posing this so that like those that aren't local understand what I'm talking about. But one of the local universities here is BYU, who are the Cougars. Yeah, I was also University of Houston, which was also the Cougars. But I mentioned that I jokingly said. I like to shoot my cougars with tranquilizers too, and all of a sudden someone got mad at me because they thought I was talking about women, and that's genuinely not what I was talking about, but. Are we jumping the gun on things?
Oh, we definitely are.
And getting offended way too easy, way too quick.
Yeah, taking offense and being offended is a new high. Mm-hmm. And it's like people go online to find their high that they can be offended on. And then on the other end are companies like the Walt Disney Company overreacting and being reactionary and just completely throwing the baby out with the bathwater because they're afraid of this
lawsuits and
bad press.
Bad press. It's a press thing more than anything.
The most damage Disney caused was to themselves by overreacting and firing James Gunn.
It has caused a huge thing across the whole Marvel universe. I mean, that's where we'll kind of focus on this is with the Marvel thing. The whole cast of the Guardians went through, signed a petition. A lot of them were threatening, well, that's not part of my contract. If he is not the director, I am not part of the Guardians. I will not be part of it. Because he had already written the script. They had already okayed the script and everything like that. They were supposed to be starting production here at the beginning of the year. Yeah. So production should have been in. Now it's on hold. There is no release date for the Guardians 3 or anything like that. There's no in the future anytime soon of what is going on with it. And there's been huge, well, do they use the script? Do they write a new script? Who's going to direct it? This was James Gunn's baby. Yeah. The Guardians of the Galaxy are who they are and as popular as they are because of James Gunn. Yeah. He wrote that, and that's the thing is, even in the Infinity Gauntlet, in the comic books, Adam Warlock was a huge player with defeating Thanos. But James Gunn had written Guardians 3 at the end of Guardians 2, they were talking, there's like one of the end credit scenes and it shows Adam Warlock in a cocoon because he wanted to use that. And so Adam Warlock was out of the picture for Endgame, for Thanos. And so that's where they've kind of connected and brought in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel's going to take that spot where Adam Warlock was in the comic books. And so they had to work around a lot of the things and the ideas that James Gunn had brought into and, written into the Guardians. So there's all this debate and everything like that. As of right now, they are going to use the script. They're going to try and move forward with it. Dave Bautista, Chris Pratt, and everybody, they've gone through and said vocally, James Gunn is one of the greatest, most kind-hearted men that they've ever worked with. They want to work with him, but Disney said no. There's petitions, there was billboards, there was all sorts of stuff saying bring James Gunn back. Disney is going to stand with it and say no, he's fired.
That's crazy
because of their ego.
Yeah,
they jumped the gun, and because of their ego, they're going to stand by a bad decision.
Because look at a lot of the other direct actors or people. Robert Downey Jr. was in jail.
Yeah,
for drugs. Look at that. The thing is, Disney did
also,
their research.
Well,
they knew James Gunn had some.
And Disney has a lot of skeletons in their closet.
Oh my gosh.
I grew up in South Orange County. I have quite a few friends that have been, character actors at Disneyland. If you want to talk about being Me Too'd, go to the back lots at Disneyland. So that there's just the hypocrisy of it, though, where they are literally one of the worst offenders and create an environment, but then they're going to let the Proud Boys and the alt-right people, get their culture war thing against one of the liberals, and they overreacted, to this, and they're gonna
exactly what you said. They jumped the gun.
Yeah.
They jumped the gun on this, and
they have too much pride to say are bad.
Okay, we'll let him do this last thing. I mean, because he has even gone in and he was putting input in Endgame and Infinity War, because people were like, well, what do we do with these characters? You created the Guardians. How do we bring this and so that scene in Infinity War, when the Guardians come in, that was all James Gunn. You could see it from the point when you see the Alano flying across. That's James Gunn. You can just feel it. And so it's going to be different to see how this plays out with that. So, I mean, the thing is, you've got this great director that has brought Disney $1.5 billion in the 2 movies that he produced for them. Written, produced, everything. So now you got a free director that, of course, there's going to be other, people that are going to jump on it. So who jumps in? Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
They're like, I want this guy. We've seen what he's done. We've seen what he can do. What can we use him for? And so what do they attach him to?
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. What better way to do it? And I think this is they have totally... this is the greatest thing that I think Warner Brothers has been able to do, and what it's going to do for them. Because,
but will Warner Brothers let him do what he needs to do? Because that's been the problem. They bring people in, but then you have 300 cooks in the kitchen trying to, make something spectacular, and every single time it fails.
There's someone just wrote on here. Yeah, Disney jumped the gun. James Gunn. That's a good one.
Definitely.
So Warner Brothers captivated. They jumped on this, and at first people were speculating, are they going to give him what he wants and everything like that? Yeah. And so that was the biggest key: is what are they going to do? Are they going to let him write the script? Are they going to let him do that? We can kind of go more on that after the break. We'll discuss a little bit more about James Gunn, what his future with Warner Brothers and the Suicide Squad is going to be.
And also who's in and who's out over there at DC. So there's a lot happening there. And we'll be talking about that right here on Comic.Church on
Awesome.
K-Talk. AM 1640, real, local, two-way talk. And we will be right back after this quick break.
Hey there, comic book fans and believers in all things geekdom. This is Pastor Drew, the Fairy Godbro, and I just want to let you know that all of us here at Comic.Church are working hard to build a place that we can all come to, a place of refuge, a place to be edified by the universes that inspire us the most. And this show, it's just the launching off point. We invite you to subscribe to our podcast, Church, using your favorite podcasting service. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, TuneIn, and more. Also, please like our Facebook page, Church on K-Talk. On our page, you'll have a chance to interact with us live each Sunday. Plus, you'll have a chance to hear from us as we post our thoughts, inspirational somethings, and whatnots all throughout the week. We have so much in store for 2019 and into the future, and we invite you to come along and be a part of it. We at Comic.Church know exactly how important fans are, and we thank you for taking a chance and being our fans.
Military life is rewarding, but it isn't always easy.
Managing the stress can affect even the strongest warrior.
But I will stay mission ready.
I will keep my mind and body fit.
Talk to my chaplain.
Seek care early. Strive for progress, not perfection.
I got this.
I got this.
Take the first step.
There's no better time than now.
Reaching out is a sign of strength. Visit realwarriors.net or call 800-874-2273.
You're listening to the all-new K-Talk Media, KBJA 1640 AM, Sandy, Salt Lake, and the entire Wasatch Front, bringing you live, local, two-way talk.
The essence of sales is transferring enthusiasm to the customer. K-Talk Media is looking for people who have an unabashed enthusiasm for live local radio and who would love to share the message of our station with businesses who would like to tap into our large, loyal audience. Do you want a fun, energetic, and rewarding position with a company that makes a difference? Then join our team and feel the love. Full, part-time, or anytime positions available with great compensation. Call us today, 801-253-4883, 801-253-4883, or go to ktalkmedia.com and shoot us a message.
Stay away from religious topics, not here on K-Talk. Listen each Sunday evening at 7 p.m. to The Interpreter Show for fascinating religious discussions, hot debates, and the latest in religious scholarship, archaeology, and ancient documents. Whether you're Catholic, Mormon, Protestant, agnostic, and atheist, or something else, you'll want to listen to The Interpreter Show Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. here on K-Talk. You gotta hear it.
I am a veteran. I spent 2 years alone and homeless.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory was finding the support to get back on my feet.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran. When I got out, I felt like nowhere was safe.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory was finding the help I needed. Thanks to DAV, now I feel like I'm human again.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
When it's cold outside, warm up with the hottest live local two-way talk. K-Talk Media, 1640 AM.
Welcome back, comic fans. We now return to Comic.Church, leaving you right where we left off before the break. And now here's your host, Pastor Drew, the Fairy Godbrother, the Monsignor of Marvel, Sean Ray, and the Reverend Sith Lord himself, Jesse Stay.
Yeah, the camera loves you. It keeps it like every time.
Always love you.
Welcome back. So, before we went to break, we're talking about the bad breakup between Marvel, James Gunn, and the new relationship of James Gunn and DC, which I see that as a perfect way for James Gunn to just tell Marvel, hey, screw you.
And that's the thing is I really think that he can do that, especially them giving him Suicide Squad. So what it was is at first everyone didn't know how he was going to do it, what he was going to do with it. As from what I've read the last couple days on James Gunn is Warner Brothers has said, here's the Suicide Squad. Do whatever.
Do with it as you will.
You're going to write it. You're going to direct it. You're going to recast. I mean,
so that's the question.
It's not
is
a
it being
reboot.
recast?
It's not a reboot. The thing is, with the Suicide Squad, it was not. It's a squad of villains,
Yeah.
of mercenaries, whoever. It's never the same people. I mean, there's always villains that are coming and going. It's like, who do we have in prison right now?
So there's not going to be like a new Harley Quinn. Let's just pretend that they're the same character.
No, there's not going to be anything like that.
So
where
they're
it's
not
going to
Hulk
be rebooted. It's going to be a new story. In my thought, this is what.
Is it still going to have 21 Pilots as the soundtrack, though? That's what
better.
I want to know.
It better.
Yeah.
That was I love that.
That was so good.
Like I said, I don't buy a lot of soundtracks or CDs anymore, but like that one I did.
Yeah,
I did buy the Spider-Verse CD.
Yeah,
that one was great.
Yeah, they're hitting my kids' generation now, is what it is.
It's great. My kids even loved Suicide Squad. A lot of people say it was a flop. There were some things that they shouldn't have done and everything like that, but it was a lot of the influence from Warner Brothers or the company saying, no, you need to do this, you need to have a bigger villain.
So like we were saying before the break, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Exactly. And supposedly they're giving full free reign to James Gunn.
Wow.
There's been a lot of speculation, a lot of talk that Harley Quinn is not going to be in it, as opposed right now it's still rumors.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows anything.
I heard Jared Leto's also out.
Jared Leto right now, that is a really good possibility.
Okay.
In my opinion, I don't see that one happening just because right now Jared Leto is filming Morbius. He's back in the Sony lot filming a Spider-Man Morbius the Living Vampire movie.
Okay.
Which I think that's a good casting. Ever since Venom did so well, Sony's like, all right, who do we have? What are these other villains? And so they're kind of jumping and going with that one. So I don't see a Jared Leto appearance, a Joker appearance. They don't know what they're doing with that aspect because Harley Quinn was supposed to do so well that there was going to be a standalone Harley Quinn and Joker movie. That has been put on the back burner. So the whole Joker thing, and plus they have the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie coming out at the end of the year.
Ooh.
So that one,
that's gonna be so good.
We don't know if that's a standalone, if that's part of the DC universe. Right now, DC does not know what they're doing with their universe, their movie universe. They don't know whether to incorporate them still together or do standalones. So that's kind of where we're at right now. They're still
trying to figure out what works and what doesn't.
They're still in the works though they're going to be releasing a Batman movie. Standalone Batman movie next year. There are so many in the talks of Ben Affleck is not in it, and there's other characters, people, but
the DC universe reminds me of just like a game of Mario Kart where no one knows how to play, and they're just all going off in different directions, hitting the wall, and you go off that
shells
side.
coming in and getting, from the side. You don't know what is going on.
And they're spending billions of dollars while they're doing it.
I think they're gradually learning, but they're just behind. I mean, Marvel's now to the point where they figured out how to do sequels of shows, and you're starting to see them. Disney's now taking that and applying it into their Disney movies.
But at the same time, DC is like, let's just do what Marvel's doing. Let's just copy them, and they suck at it.
Yeah,
they tried it, and
Disney
like I've
just
said,
buy DC too. That would be awesome.
Like I've said, when they try to copy and do a huge group movie, didn't work. But it has been proven in the last few times when they do a standalone individual movie, they're good.
Yeah,
focus on those. I mean, look at Aquaman. It is right now their highest grossing movie ever.
Same thing with Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was
beat
a
out
great
Wonder Woman
movie.
even, and
great
I
movie.
thought Wonder Woman was better. I mean, Aquaman is beautiful, fun to watch, and everything like that. There's still a lot to pick apart, but go into it open-minded and have a good time, and it's a great movie. Jason Momoa knocked it out, even though
I really like those dancing scenes with the broom and the. Or is that Shape of Water?
Mm-hmm. When he gets the no. So, with the whole Suicide Squad thing and everything, James Gunn has free reign. He's going to be recasting. And one thing that I'm going to say to look for Dave Bautista. Look for a lot of his other friends that I can't remember Yondu's name.
Mm-hmm.
The actor. But he's in all of his movies.
Yeah.
I was going to look up his name. I even met him. He's awesome. He is a good guy. I met him at the Comic-Con or the FanX, Salt Lake FanX Con. Him and Sean Gunn, I met. My kids met. Great guys. And I would not be surprised if they're going to follow him into casting characters. I really look at James Gunn. He's going to be pulling some odd villains and everything into this movie. So he's going to pull from the vault and see what he can do. And I am 100% backing behind this. I think it was Warner Brothers' greatest thing that they've done in the last little bit.
And Disney's worst mistake.
It is. This is going to be
next to redoing the Tower of Terror as Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't know.
Wait
Wait until we go.
I don't know.
I still haven't gone.
I haven't gone since it was.
My son loved it, so he's done both.
But could he have loved it if it was a brand new ride that they built specifically for Guardians of the Galaxy instead of destroying the Twilight Zone?
And if he had seen Twilight Zone, which they are releasing a Twilight Zone, a new Twilight Zone, so maybe after this one, Twilight Zone becomes relevant again.
Yeah. And maybe
Twilight Zone is always relevant.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying for my kids' age,
go and watch the shows, and even the episodes 60 years ago are relevant to today. That's its staying power.
I remember watching those late at night.
So I do think that was another mistake Disney made. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I love Twilight Zone, Tower of Terror.
I just like holding the pennies in my hand as it's falling and watching the pennies float in the pictures. That's the only thing I used to like about it.
My favorite thing is you get the seat belt, you give yourself a ton of thing, and then you wrap it underneath your legs so it looks like it's tight. And then when you get to then you get to float.
Then you actually float.
Yeah.
Wait until we go to Disney, and then when we review that ride,
hopefully my PR person that I'm trying to reach out to isn't listening to this one because I'm trying to get his tickets.
I think that would be good because we need to change your guys' mind, and you need to go on the ride. You need to wait in the line and see what it is. And as much as it was, Twilight Terror, Tower of Terror, I think Mission Breakout is wonderful. James Gunn has. I mean, look at what he's done with Guardians of the Galaxy. No one knew that a talking raccoon, a tree.
Oh, by the way,
would be as big as it is.
We have some sad news.
Yes.
The raccoon, the actual live raccoon Oreo that was screen captured for Rocket. He passed away this last week.
Yeah, Oreo passed away. He was.
I have a love-hate relationship with raccoons though because
trash pandas.
I have chickens and ducks.
Is that
a
bad
I had a raccoon that tore the head off my duck, and I've never seen the head of my duck before. Yeah, off of Howard the duck got killed. His name was Howard. It was Howard the duck, and left Gertrude just fine. But
we had some raccoons, me and my kids, and there were two little babies. We named them Luke and Leia.
Now I know which raccoon did it, though.
In my neck of the woods, we don't have trash pandas. We just have skunks. So.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It could have been a skunk, so maybe it was a skunk.
Maybe.
So I'm going to play the Guardians of the Galaxy angle and say it was a raccoon.
One thing, you kind of did mention Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
The thing is, with Harley Quinn, who knows if she's going to make an appearance. I mean, I'm not going to push it out. I'm not opposed to it or anything like that. But Margot Robbie is still Harley Quinn. There is still a lot going on with that. She has a movie coming out next year, exactly a year from now, next February in 2020, Birds of Prey. The actual technical name of this movie is Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the name of this movie. So it's Birds of Prey. So you're going to have the Huntress, you're going to have Black Canary, you're going to have one of the detectives from Gotham. And the thing is, that's really cool is Ewan McGregor as the Black Mask, the big villain. And I see a lot of origin in there where a lot of the screen footage that I've seen and everything for the movie is he doesn't have the mask on yet. In the comics, he originally fights Batman, and the mask gets electrocuted and stuck to his face. So we'll see how that works out. I don't see them wanting to really cover Ewan McGregor's face up right away. And so, from what I'm understanding, the synopsis of the movie is Black Mask is hunting down a little girl, Cassandra Cain, which in the comic books is actually one of the many Batgirls that Batman has. Who knows why, who knows what for, or anything like that. But Harley Quinn, the Huntress, Black Canary, they are going to, try and find her, help her, whatever. I've even heard that Zaz is going to make an appearance. These are all new characters. Who knows if we will see any other DC characters show up or anything like that. There was a rumor, I'm still just saying rumor, Poison Ivy could show up, a Batman could show up. We do not know really much about this movie. There is a teaser screen footage trailer. It just shows the characters in their costumes. Harley Quinn has a little bit more new look to her. It's still Margot Robbie, just beautifully done with Harley Quinn. But that's something to kind of look forward to. So she's kind of tied up with that movie at the moment. So we'll see kind of what happens. We'll see more casting news and everything with Suicide Squad as it comes out. DC's got a lot of things going on, and we'll see kind of how things play out with that.
And we'll be talking about it here on Comic.Church.
Yeah, as things go. I mean, if there's anything else with those, it's kind of interesting to see the direction that DC's going after they've seen the great success that Marvel has done with Disney. But they do have their downfalls, like who would release James Gunn?
Exactly. Who would? So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. Also coming up here in our second hour, we're gonna be getting into Star Trek Discovery, as well as some of the articles of faith of Comic.Church.
We're crossing all the universes.
So we'll be back 6 minutes after the top of the hour, right here on Comic.Church. Hey there, comic book fans and believers in all things geekdom. This is Pastor Drew, the Fairy God Bro, and I just want to let you know that all of us here at Comic.Church are working hard to build a place that we can all come to, a place of refuge, a place to be edified by the universes that inspire us the most. And this show, it's just the launching off point. We invite you to subscribe to our podcast, Church, using your favorite podcasting service. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, TuneIn, and more. Also, please like our Facebook page, Church on K-Talk. On our page, you'll have a chance to interact with us live each Sunday. Plus, you'll have a chance to hear from us as we post our thoughts, inspirational somethings, and whatnots all throughout the week. We have so much in store for 2019 and into the future, and we invite you to come along and be a part of it. We at Comic.Church know exactly how important fans are, and we thank you for taking a chance and being our fans.
Military life is rewarding, but it isn't always easy.
Managing the stress can affect even the strongest warrior.
But I will stay mission ready.
I will keep my mind and body fit.
Talk to my chaplain.
Seek care early. Strive for progress, not perfection.
I got this.
I got this.
Take the first step. There's no better time than now.
Reaching out is a sign of strength. Visit realwarriors.net or call 800-874-2273.
You're listening to the all-new K-Talk Media, KBJA 1640 AM, Sandy, Salt Lake, and the entire Wasatch Front.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Michael Harrington. A top advisor to President Trump is indicating that Mr. Trump is prepared to issue the first veto of his term if Congress votes to disapprove of his declaration of a national emergency along the U.S.-Mexico border, something Democrats are threatening. White House senior advisor Stephen Miller tells Fox News, quote, the president is going to protect his national emergency declaration. The State Department says Heather Nauert, nominated by the president, be the next UN ambassador, who has withdrawn her name from consideration.
Nauert, the State Department spokeswoman, said that, quoting here, the past 2 months have been grueling for my family, and therefore it is in the best interest of my family that I withdraw my name from consideration. She was a Fox News Channel reporter when she joined the State Department as spokeswoman less than 2 years ago.
Correspondent Ken Lorman, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, says he respects Nauert's decision and that she has performed her duties with excellence. For the second time in a month, Florida's busiest airport experiences a security scare.
Authorities say a man was arrested after he attempted to breach a security checkpoint yesterday at Orlando International Airport. Police say panic ensued when the man reached into his pocket as authorities attempted to arrest him, and someone yelled he had a gun. No gun was found. However, screenings were temporarily stopped at the checkpoint for gates 1 through 59. Panic also ensued February 2nd when a TSA employee jumped to his death from an airport balcony.
Correspondent Rhonda Rockstra. Hundreds of passengers across Europe are wondering how they are going to get home, stranded by the abrupt collapse today of the British regional airline Fly BMI. The company says it's filing for administration, that's the British version of bankruptcy, because of higher fuel costs and Brexit. The airline operated 17 jets on routes to 25 European cities and employed 400 people. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Gold buyers alert. For over 30 years, the American Gold Eagle has been the world's best-selling gold coin. Today, the Westminster Mint has the 2019 $50 Gold Eagle made from 1 ounce of pure gold for just $1,390. Certified in perfect mint state 70 condition by PCGS. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale. 70 is absolute perfection. In 3 decades, only a few rare gold eagles have achieved a perfect 70 grade, with many doubling or tripling in value. Add this valuable gold coin to your collection at the exclusive low price. Call 888-673-8041 now and receive the beautiful book Modern Coin Rarities free with your purchase. The Gold Eagle arrives with free insured shipping and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call 888-673-8041. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now. 888-673-8041.
Amazon is buying Wi-Fi device maker Eero, helping the online retailer expand its line of smart home gadgets.
Eero, founded in San Francisco 5 years ago, sells $200 devices that can spread Wi-Fi throughout a home. Rival Google already sells similar devices. Amazon has been growing its smart home gadgets in recent years. Its voice-activated Echo devices have been a hit for the company. And last year, it paid about $839 million to buy Ring, the maker of Wi-Fi connected video doorbells.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Construction on a $930 million project to replace a Corpus Christi bridge is behind schedule, despite reaching a major milestone this month. The construction company Flatiron Dragados recently acknowledged that the replacement of the 60-year-old Harbor Bridge likely will not be completed by its April.
Howdy, folks. I'm Colonel Sanders. When I told folks my signature KFC pot pie was filled with delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, veggies, and topped in a golden flaky crust and only cost $3.99, they said I was crazy. And maybe I was, because that was 1980, and $3.99 was a lot of money back then. But today, getting a meal that size for just $3.99 is a really great deal. So stop into a KFC and get yourself a pot pie. It's finger-licking good. At participating KFCs for a limited time. Prices may vary. Tax extra.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I feel like I'm on top of the world.
Disclaimer, you will not be transported to the top of the world. In the unlikely event you find yourself at the Arctic Circle, seek shelter from the elements immediately to avoid frostbite and or hypothermia. Geico will not be responsible if you find yourself in a cave or crevasse with a lonely abominable snowman, who in all likelihood will force you to play games including but not limited to Go Fish, charades, Chinese checkers, or his personal favorite, Red Rover, send Yeti on over. Geico is not liable for any damages, either physical or emotional.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
I don't mean to brag, kid, but I'm a pretty healthy guy. Running a growing business means I'm always running. Not many can keep up with me. But you know who can? Grainger. When it comes to getting me the answers I need right when I need them, Grainger moves just as fast as I do. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're a good running partner, because no matter what problem I have or question, Grainger's got my back. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Is credit debt ruining your life? Now you can have a large portion of your credit card debt forgiven. Get Relief Today wants to give you free information that shows you how. This program is proven to work for credit card debt, medical bills, and department store debt. We'll give you the secret to this money-saving program absolutely free. 800-207-8558. That's 800-207-8558. That's 800-207-8558.
We now return to Hour 2 of Comic.Church on K-Talk, AM 1640. Real local two-way comic psycho spiritual talk. With your hosts, Drew the Fairy God Bro, the Reverend Sith Lord Jesse Stay, and the Monsignor of Marble, Sean Ray.
Welcome back.
And now we return to the sanctum of spirituality, Comic.Church.
Welcome.
You got out of me.
It's hour 2.
Hour 2. So yeah, we're gonna kind of probably step into space more with this hour.
Yeah, let's step back into space a little bit. First of all, did you guys hear the really sad news about
you
Curiosity rover?
You posted something, and I didn't really know what it was or what it meant or anything like that. So tell me a little bit.
It is sad.
So how long has it been up there?
15 years. Yeah. So Curiosity rover.
It was supposed to die a long time ago.
It was one of 2 rovers that we sent to Mars. The other one is so there's Opportunity and then there's Curiosity.
I want to name one of these.
So Opportunity was it Opportunity that? No, I'm getting a moment. Yeah, Opportunity is the one that passed away this week.
Okay, so we still have Curiosity on Mars.
Yeah, so Curiosity is still going.
Opportunity was the first one.
Is that why they named it?
Yeah.
Is that why they named those? So we have Opportunity on Mars, or we still have Curiosity on Mars. I mean, to me that.
We do. So for 15 years, this little fella, was exceeded his mission 300-fold. I mean, if I remember correctly, he was only supposed 98 days was supposed to be the mission.
Supposed to die a long time ago.
But his batteries and the amazing engineering geniuses over at NASA and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory put together an amazing little guy who just kept going.
He kept adding duct tape and
and it was during a couple months ago, Mars had a massive planet-wide dust storm.
Okay.
And that's what did it to him. So because he's dependent on we're anthropomorphizing but he needs the sunlight to recharge his batteries. And with the sandstorm,
solar powered.
So his last message that was going or that he sent out was battery is low and it's getting dark. And that was his last.
Sounds like
how sad is
that? Sounds like a 2001 Space Odyssey quote.
No,
it's the dust storm that happened.
It was the Martians, though. The Martians have taken over.
It was the dust storm a couple months ago when Thanos snapped, and all those Martians' dust just.
I think it has something to do with the
Covered
earthquakes
the
here in Utah in some way or another. It's all
feel
aliens.
It's global warming.
I didn't feel
and global warming.
But yeah, so poor Opportunity.
And Trump.
His battery died, and he's now sitting there lifeless on Mars.
So
while his brother Curiosity keeps on going. And here's it. I've asked this question. And I think I've got it answered. The really sad thing is, so his brother will actually play itself Happy Birthday on the anniversary of the day that it landed on Mars. And so my question was, is Opportunity, does he do the same thing? And can you imagine just his little bit of battery left? It's like, dun, 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 dun,
so the thing is, what you're telling me though is we lost our Opportunity on Mars?
Temporarily, but here's the thing: Elon Musk, His Holiness, he's going to get us there. He's temporarily broken down.
We'll have AI robots all roaming the surface of Mars, all regenerating parts in different ways and farming for us.
But I do think Opportunity. We're going to go get him eventually, and put him in a museum where he belongs.
I think we need to save Mars for the AI systems that end up going rogue and taking over in different ways, and just send those all over to Mars and let them do whatever they want on Mars, and then Mars will get colonized in some way or another.
What if that's what we did the first time and we destroyed Mars and we had to come to the Earth to try to make it over again. So
yeah.
There's some possibility there. So
that's what Martian Manhunter did. I mean, the white Martians came and just attacked him, so they came here.
What if Mars doesn't exist?
No, Mars exists.
I'm joking.
Mars exists.
I'm not going to go there. That's
although
Mars does exist. If you're in the audience and you don't think Mars exists or that the Earth isn't round,
we're flat.
Although Mars used to be a moon to a super planet.
My Pluto is a planet. Pluto is a planet.
No, this is a legit theory that Mars was a moon to a super Earth-like planet that was in between where we are and Saturn. And something happened. There is even some speculation that a Death Star type device actually blew up the planet. And that's what we now have as the Kuiper belt in between us and Mars, is the remnants. And when that happened, it also shifted the magnetic polarity of the entire solar system, which triggered all the planets and possibly throwing the comets towards Earth that got rid of the dinosaurs and created the flood of Noah's time.
Wow.
So there's some story out there possibly.
We need to get our spaceships and start sending people up there to where no man has gone before.
I was just gonna say
we already did. We did that in the 80s, but we're not talking about that.
If you're in our audience and you believe that the Earth is flat, you have a welcome. We'll give you a welcome line to call in to our show anytime, and we're gonna love to. I mean, we might make fun of you.
We don't make fun of people.
No, we're gonna have a great conversation. We're not gonna make fun of you.
If you believe the Earth is flat, we'll make fun of you. Because I'm sorry, there's
it's
things
great
called,
radio though. I want you on
science.
our show.
Yes, come to our show. They won't make fun of you, but I will. Because yes, there's
I don't
science.
Discriminate.
And anyways,
but I would love to hear your opinion on why it is flat.
I mean, if I should leave it up to Drew on that, but you're welcome on my show on Thursdays anytime.
I might need to bring some serious cannabis to as they're talking like. It's okay.
And you can believe no.
Heliocentricity. Anyways, so that was news that happened. Opportunity was officially declared. He passed away this week up on Mars, but we're gonna go get him. And
rest in peace.
As in with all sci-fi, there's no such thing as a actual death, which brings us to the next topic: Star Trek.
Yes.
Ooh. So, being the resident Trekkie, the pastor of Trek on this show, Star Trek Discovery. Have you guys been watching it?
Not the
I
second
watched a little
season.
bit. I need to watch more.
I watched about 6 episodes into the first season.
Okay.
And there was a lot of Klingon, and I did not have subtitles when I was watching it.
Okay.
So I had no idea what was going on. So I need to go back and rewatch it when I can have subtitles.
I think I'm going to make this activity an activity to do with my kids when my kids are here. And I'm coming with, like, my kids' time is time, like, where I can, like, focus on my kids.
Yeah.
And so I'm finding now, like, things like movies and stuff and shows and TV shows are a really great opportunity to do with the kids. So that's what I'm going to start doing now is with my kids watch this.
They are. And Discovery is a great one. So they're in the middle of season 2 right now, which is spectacular. So much even better than the first season. So the first season,
because the first season, what I saw,
So let me explain the first season. It starts off with a 2-part, kind of like a prequel, and that's episodes 1 and 2 of the first season, that talk about how the Klingon War started. So Discovery, Star Trek Discovery, takes place 10 years before the original series, and in Trek lore, we all know there was a horrible Klingon War. The Federation almost got itself destroyed. And so they start off with how the war started. And Michael Burnham, who's one of the main characters in Discovery, was kind of played a key role in starting that war between the Federation and the Klingons. And the Discovery is a science ship. So they're doing all kinds of like secret, crazy science stuff involving one of them, mushrooms. Their entire propulsion system is based on fungi, the spores, mushrooms, and I'm wearing my Mushroom Boy shirt, which I wish we could get one of these shirts to Paul Stamets, who's one of the chief engineer who developed this propulsion. But the ship actually travels the mycelial network that connects the entire universe together. So that's mushrooms.
Fungi is my thing. I love
it's really cool, and with that also plays into what we're gonna talk about. In the first season they killed off a character that really upset a lot of people. So Dr. Kolber, who's the chief medical officer, played by Wilson Cruz, was he's a gay character. Mm-hmm. And then the chief engineer, Paul Stamets, is also another gay character, and they were married. They were lovers.
Okay.
Which was kind of groundbreaking for Star Trek. Two principal characters who are LGBT in a healthy relationship with each other. So that was groundbreaking for Star Trek.
In Star Trek, there's not a lot of it, but they don't discriminate. That was one of Gene Roddenberry's thing is he doesn't discriminate against any race, religion,
and in
sex,
Star Trek
anything.
Deep Space Nine, we had our first female kiss. I mean, that was back in the 90s.
And it was a huge thing.
It was. So they always have been.
This last movie, none of the main on-screen had been gay or anything like that until the last movie. And they didn't really touch on it, but I loved how they did it because it wasn't a huge thing.
Yeah.
But he had a picture of his husband and his daughter, them together as the world was getting destroyed. I need to go back and rewatch that one. But
so in Discovery, they're continuing that path, but then, a few episodes into it, Dr. Kolber's killed, like pretty horrifically. And Jonathan Frakes, Commander Riker from The Next Generation,
was worn my Google Glass before.
He directed that episode. So, they snapped Dr. Kolber's neck. And part of the problem with that is something that we've seen a lot throughout TV is whenever you have a principal gay character, they usually kill him off. And that's kind of been a trope in Hollywood for decades that's really ticked off the LGBT community. And so now we have, in Star Trek Discovery...
Which is a shame because there's a lot of gays in Hollywood.
There are.
They're huge.
And yes, we're really dramatic. And, a character death is always really dramatic, but we kind of like to live too.
Yeah.
So, but there was a lot of outcry when they killed Dr. Kolber. It's like, here we have a gay character... A great main character, and you just kill him. What the hell? And so they were, when that happened and the blowback started happening, they were very cautious to say, hey, it's not over. Dr. Kolber's he's gonna come back.
Because a cyborg?
So was killing him off on purpose, knowing that he was going to come back, or did they bring him back because of the backlash?
So from what I've heard, this was always how he intended to come back.
Okay.
And it's very reminiscent to another episode in Star Trek that we'll talk about coming back from break. But it's very reminiscent of when they killed Spock.
Yep.
And the huge blowback. And this was done way before social media. So it's a reoccurring Star Trek tradition.
Stories,
of then coming the resurrection.
No one's ever dead.
So
it seems like that way. A lot.
Yeah.
Look at
Star Wars does this too.
Khan, like Space Seed and a lot of those things. And Khan, you thought he was dead.
No one's really dead in sci-fi. So and that was the case. They killed him for half a season, and it broke so many people's hearts. And then this last week, they brought him back. So we'll be talking about that coming.
And I'm going to bring some Star Wars into this when we do it.
Nice. So we'll be talking about all of this and more right here on Church on K-Talk. AM 1640, real local two-way talk. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
The Kubota L2501 tractor is one of the best-selling compact tractors in America for a reason. They're comfortable, spacious, easy to control, and have a range of performance-matched implements to tackle all kinds of jobs. Right now, get a Kubota L2501 with a 6-year warranty, plus 0% APR financing for up to 60 months, or great customer instant rebates. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Find a Kubota dealer near you at GoKubota.com.
When the fake news stations are slick as ice this winter, cut through with K-Talk Media, your favorite local talk station.
AARP is the nation's largest nonprofit, nonpartisan organization dedicated to empowering Americans 50 and older to choose how they live as they age. No limits, no labels. Aging is changing. Visit aarp.org/UT for more information. Make the most of each day with AARP.
When a challenge rises up, do we let it stand in our way or go the distance to overcome it? I didn't want to stay at the bottom, but after I was shot in Afghanistan, I was told I'd never walk again, if I even survived. My wife and healthcare providers were there to help me climb my hill. I learned that psychological care is key to recovery from both physical and invisible wounds. Decide now that I will take the first step. Visit realwarriors.net or call 800-874-2273.
Hi, I'm Gary Sinise. Our veterans put everything on the line to protect our freedom. We may never be able to repay them for their sacrifice, but we can show them just how much we appreciate all they've done. Please visit www.volunteer.va.gov.
The weekend is coming, and you need to plan a date night. You could go to a movie and dinner, but there's nothing original about that. Here's a new and exciting idea. Take your date indoor shooting at the Armory Gun Range. Instead of renting a bowling lane or playing miniature golf, you can rent a shooting lane at the Armory Gun Range. Impress your spouse or your date with your original plan. The Armory can provide both guns and ammo, and rookies are welcome.
I would be excited if my boyfriend took me shooting. The Armory is located in Sandy at 9210 South and 248 West. The phone number is 801-447-1789. Again, that is 801-447-1789. You can also check out their website at armoryshootingrange.com. The range is open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
The Armory Gun Range, blowing holes in boring date nights.
Welcome back, comic fans. We now return to Comic.Church, leaving you right where we left off before the break. And now here's your host, Pastor Drew the Fairy Godbrother, the Monsignor of Marvel, Sean Ray, and the Reverend Sith Lord himself, Jesse Stay.
Welcome back, everybody.
A little bit with Star Trek and Dr. Culber. I am curious because, I mean...
The resurrection of Dr. Culber.
I don't mind the spoilers. I'm going to watch these no matter what.
Yeah, so let's put a spoiler alert if you're listening and you don't want to have the spoiler.
Because this was last week's episode, right?
Yeah, so if you're listening on the radio, change your station to NPR and then come back in 5 minutes. Yes. So, and if you're on Facebook, well... push pause and listen to it after you watch the episode.
Just skip 5-20 minutes, whatever.
So now we are going to talk about the resurrection of Dr. Culber. So as we were talking about, kind of the whole premise of the USS Discovery is that its propulsion system, it has a warp drive. It has a traditional warp drive like all Starfleet vessels. But this one also has the mycelial drive, which allows them to transport on mushrooms and the entire mycelial network that holds the universe together.
I need to watch it just so I can learn that a little bit more.
It's great. So
it's such a
in
cool
last week's
sci-fi
episode,
theory.
Before they resurrected Culber, there's so much innuendo about tripping on mushrooms.
Yeah.
And there was a mushroom that actually crossed over the mycelial network into our normal reality, and it was actually putting out spores and psilocybin as a way to get them all more compliant, and their eyes were all getting big, and Stamets like, oh, we're tripping. I need to get a hypo spray so we can. So literally, they're magic it's Star Trek on magic mushrooms.
So fascinating.
But again, everything they do, there is a scientific basis in what they're talking about, and as with the mycelial mushroom network that we have here on Earth, nothing dies.
Yeah.
Even when you die, the mushrooms will then transform your body and that energy into a new form of life and whatnot.
Pull out the nutrients and supply it to all the other plant forms and other things around.
Yeah, so nothing is
I cultivate
dead.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, the whole
not that type,
but the principle of mushrooms is rebirth through death. Like it's a beautiful metaphor. So they carry that over. And so, they're traversing the mycelial network. They can jump from one point to another instantaneously. And they found out last season you could actually cross over into parallel realities as well.
Wow.
And also time, traverse time as well. Because when they came back 9 months too late, and the Federation was almost completely destroyed. And they had the algorithm to figure out the cloaking device for the Klingons, but they jumped into the other reality before they could transmit that algorithm to Starfleet, and Starfleet lost. But anyways, as we were saying, nothing dies in the mycelial network. So Dr. Culber, when he was killed last season, right when when he was dying, his partner Stamets, there was some energetic transfer, but they were also in the network, and so when he was in the network, the mushrooms actually rebuilt Dr. Culber using their stuff, and that they found him there. But Dr. Culber being Dr. Culber, the mushrooms were trying to break down this new thing that was dangerous to them. He didn't want to attack it, so he found an antifungal or whatever, and was living in the mycelial network, but at the same time killing the mushrooms because they were trying to kill him. Long story short, they find him and find a way to bring him back. So that's where we left off on this last episode.
So did he come back more of a fun guy now?
I don't know. We're going to find out. He's definitely
Maybe he turns into a fun girl.
He definitely comes back messed up because he's been stuck in the mycelial network for months.
That's a crazy theory. Like
so,
that could...
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though.
So imagine being on your own for months, being attacked by everything around you.
In the quantum realm?
Possibly. So yeah, it's
he becomes Super Mario.
But it's similar though, because he's able to come back. They have this chamber that they use as part of the drive system for this mushroom drive, and there was a lot of parallels to what they did to bring back Spock.
Yeah.
When Spock died after the end of Star Trek II.
Yeah.
Which, again, pissed off a lot of fans. A lot of fans are saying, if you kill Spock, we're done. We're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So...
and that one was on purpose. That one was... He was supposed to die, wasn't he? The Spock one.
He was. And there's...
He wasn't supposed to come back originally.
There's different sides to that story that we've heard. First of all, the person who leaked it out, and again, back when Spock died, this was before social media, so there wasn't a way to leak or spoilers and all that.
Yeah.
But the person who actually revealed that they're going to kill Spock before they even finish shooting was Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah.
He was not happy with that they were going to kill off Spock.
I remember hearing this.
Yeah.
And
the creator
went
has
to
spoken.
a great. Yeah. He did a lot of damage to the movie, but at the same time, I think I don't know if that's what made them reverse course and bring back Spock again.
To me, that was one of the greatest movies. Like before a lot of these newer ones, I loved Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if Spock hadn't died, we wouldn't have had the third one, Search for Spock.
Yeah.
Which was pretty good too. But
I still think my favorite though is Journey Home, number 4.
Oh, really?
So
see, and I loved how they basically portrayed that exact same scene, but Kirk was dying and Spock was on the other side of the glass.
So another reversal,
in one of these the newer Star Trek movies.
In the Kelvin universe.
That
J.J. Abrams. Yeah.
But the thing is, like in a lot of these universes and stuff like that, nobody technically really ever dies. I mean, we were talking about that during the break.
Star Wars has some parallels, and it's interesting because Star Wars does it a little different. They don't actually, so we see it anywhere from to an extent Luke Skywalker, where he falls down the abyss and ends up losing his hand, but they bring him back and fix his hand in Return of the Jedi, but But you've got
look at a lot of the other ones that have fallen. Darth Maul was one of the biggest ones.
Yep.
That so many people thought he was dead, unless you had read the comics or were into Star Wars. You knew that he was alive. He kept himself alive
Star Wars,
by using the dark force to keep him.
The cartoon Star Wars Rebels.
Even before that,
he comes back. If you hadn't been reading the comics or anything,
Star Wars Rebels,
he came back, and
that was such a good one.
Yeah,
I loved it.
And then you
wish
see it
they
again
did something like that.
in Solo.
In Solo, and that's where a lot of people were like, "No way."
Yeah,
but
but even him, I mean, it was they added robotic legs to him. He didn't actually officially die and come back to life. They use cybernetics and such to make him a human or a being cyborg of sorts. Whatever.
That sounds familiar in the Star Wars universe. Who else is like that?
You've got Darth Vader as well.
Yeah.
Darth Vader did the same thing. Now, where it does kind of equate is you've got like Obi-Wan who and Yoda who die and come back in kind of ghost form of sorts.
In the form of
and
the
I guess
Force.
Luke Skywalker's probably going to do it in the next movie, likely as well.
But he's got to.
But isn't
he's
but
credited in the movie?
Yeah.
But that's the basis of so much. Is death really is just one? It's not permanent. Death is just a step. It's a transition. And nothing's finalized. And, I think that's a theme that goes, through so much of our sci-fi comic book reality, but then also, I mean, thinking about it in a metaphysical, in our reality, it's
the savior. When you have a savior of sorts, in many forms, that's we as humans tend to appreciate the story of that savior coming back. And you go back into even Christianity and the hero with 1,000 faces, whatever it is, by Joseph Campbell. And the story of resurrection in the Bible actually was added by Christians after the death of the man named Jesus.
Long
assuming
after.
his name was Jesus. Long after, in order to resurrect, pun intended, the idea that he had promised that he would be King of Jews and give him that still possibility, so he would still be a savior. And that happens again and again in the comic books, in the stories that we tell and such. And Spock is one example.
Spock is one. Even Emperor Palpatine. If you know deep into the Star Wars universe, when Darth Vader throws Palpatine off the edge, he dies, but he comes back.
Yeah,
he comes back and he reincarnates himself into another body. That's what a lot of people were saying. Oh, it's Snoke, which I hope, please, Star Wars, do something more with that. Don't leave that so open-ended in this last episode. I think
that was a weird.
I mean, they so much build up, and then just like I was like, is
that all he is?
Really? So I'm hoping, because like you look back at
Empire, the other letdown was also
she has no family.
Finn and
Finn and Oscar Isaac.
What's her name?
Rose.
Fatima?
Oh yeah, Rose.
No, his demon that he's is it Fatima? Is that the name? Phasma.
Oh yeah.
So
she got thrown off. She's dead.
Well, is she? Because if that is, that's a really crappy way to wrap up a storyline and not give him his hero's ending, because she is his.
Yeah.
I
swear I've heard a rumor of her coming back.
Yeah,
I might be
wrong,
they
need to bring her back. Otherwise, I'm going to be really disappointed, because it's a story plot that you just said, screw it. We're just going to.
That's the hard thing with The Last Jedi, is there's so many of those.
Yeah.
It is a good movie, but there's so many of those little that leaves that storyline so open-ended.
And he was robbed of his solution.
I hope that it is like Empire Strikes Back in that way, where, and I try to think back, because when I was born, I could watch them through, but those people, they were left such a cliffhanger, like what the heck is going on? There's all these open-ended questions and everything like that at the end of Empire. They were answered in Jedi.
Yeah.
And I really hope that a lot of these open-ended questions, Phasma, Snoke, Rey's family. I hope that there are little, answers to that, because this is going to be the last Skywalker of the saga of the Skywalker.
So they say.
Yeah.
I give it 20 years and there'll be another one because
Possibly.
they realize how much money's in there.
They are working on other stories of Star Wars that do not have anything to do with the Skywalkers. I just read somewhere the other day that Anthony Daniels just wrapped filming with Episode 9. So is that the last of C-3PO?
Doubt it. He gives Disney way too much money. They'll maybe for
People
a couple
love
years,
droids.
maybe for a couple
It'll
years.
Be a whole droid movie,
but they'll be more.
C-3PO and R2 are my droid duo. I love it. As much as I really enjoy BB-8, R2 and C-3PO.
What is that phrase that they give to like banks and companies? They're too big to fail.
Yeah.
Like Disney will not okay, let's put you in the locker and you're good now. No, they can still pump a few $1 billion from those two characters.
C-3PO, if I am remembering, has been in every Star Wars.
Is it every single one?
He even did a small cameo in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Because he was built, and that's the thing, is the whole thing that he was built by Anakin Skywalker. Whatever,
and also they're the only two characters that have been through all three generations, so it's almost like the story is being told from their perspective.
And that's a whole different idea. That is pretty cool.
That's an M. Night Shyamalan movie right there.
But so and kind of so we're coming up on another break here in a little bit, but with that we're gonna in tying Star Wars, Star Trek, all that, the fans. The other part of that is just there is a toxicity within the fan base in all of these genres that is just really irritating. First of all, one disappointing. So in Star Trek, you've got all your Star Trek fans, CBS put it behind CBS All Access. We're mad, so we're going to hate on it. And then you got the Orville, and Orville's just like the Star Trek we wanted, and Star Trek Discovery isn't even Star Trek. And you have all these fans that are just like, and most of them haven't even seen it. So it's like they're crapping on something they haven't seen.
Yeah. They've ruined so many other movies and so many other people's careers and things like that.
And we saw it in Star Wars. Kelly Marie Tran was harassed to the point she had to get off Instagram.
Yeah, she quit herself. It even happened. I can't remember the girl that played 11 on Stranger Things.
Yeah.
they were harassing her on Twitter, Facebook, and
Ghostbuster
everything like that.
fans.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Well,
they've ruined the female Ghostbusters thing. They're gonna redo and do a new movie, and they're like, we're just gonna forget about that one.
Yeah.
And the females, the actors, are like, well, we didn't do anything. We portrayed it's a great movie, but they are ruining these things because it's not what these fans envision.
It's general psychology. I've dealt with fan bases and audiences for probably at least half my career in different ways, and I've got different audiences of my own in different capacities and such. And what I've learned, you're going to have hates when you have an audience in different ways at different times, and the reason that people lash out at any time is because of difference. If you do something that's different from your traditional status quo of doing things, they're going to lash out at you.
But what would they want? Do they want nothing?
It's par for the course.
You have the Star Trek fans. It's not Star Trek. We like Orville. Well, fine. Do you not want a Star Trek? Because with the exception of the J.J. Abrams movies, which again, half the fans didn't like and the other fans did, do you want nothing? Same thing with Star Wars. I'm sorry, you didn't like that. How would you like nothing?
Yeah.
But from a monetary standpoint, though, that's engagement. It drives views. It drives engagement.
But it also, I think it ruins it. It
does hugely, and it ruins people's thoughts and everything like that because it's not what they see. It's not what they want. It's okay seeing a blue Twi'lek on screen and everything like that because that's an alien. But if you see an Asian on screen portraying a character and you don't like that, shut your mouth. Go watch something else. Because that's the kind of fan base that in Star Wars and Star Trek and Marvel, we don't want to see that kind of stuff because I want to see Star Wars on screen.
Yeah, and I want more. I want more. Yeah. I want another Star Trek series. I want 3 Star Trek series. Give it everything I can take.
People were so pissed that Rey was a main character.
It's avoidable, though.
A female was the main character. Then we have a black stormtrooper. I mean, who cares? I just want to see a Star Wars movie.
Exactly. We'll be talking about this on the other side of this commercial break. We'll be right back. Hey there, comic book fans and believers in all things geekdom. This is Pastor Drew, the Fairy Godbro, and I just want to let you know that all of us here at Comic.Church are working hard to build a place that we can all come to, a place of refuge, a place to be edified by the universes that inspire us the most. And this show, it's just the launching off point. We invite you to subscribe to our podcast, Church, using your favorite podcasting service. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, TuneIn, and more. Also, please like our Facebook page, Church on K-Talk. On our page, you'll have a chance to interact with us live each Sunday. Plus, you'll have a chance to hear from us as we post our thoughts, inspirational somethings, and whatnots all throughout the week. We have so much in store for 2019 and into the future, and we invite you to come along and be a part of it. We at Comic.Church know exactly how important fans are, and we thank you for taking a chance and being our fans.
Military life is rewarding, but it isn't always easy.
Managing the stress can affect even the strongest warrior.
But I will stay mission ready.
I will keep my mind and body fit.
Talk to my chaplain.
Seek care early. Strive for progress, not perfection.
I got this.
I got this.
Take the first step. There's no better time than now.
Reaching out is a sign of strength. Visit realwarriors.net or call 800-874-2273.
You're listening to the all-new K-Talk Media, KBJA 1640 AM, Sandy, Salt Lake, and the entire Wasatch Front, bringing you live, local, two-way talk.
The essence of sales is transferring enthusiasm to the customer. K-Talk Media is looking for people who have an unabashed enthusiasm for live local radio and who would love to share the message of our station with businesses who would like to tap into our large, loyal audience. Do you want a fun, energetic, and rewarding position with a company that makes a difference? Then join our team and feel the love. Full, part-time, or anytime positions available with great compensation. Call us today, 801-253-4883, 801-253-4883, or go to ktalkmedia.com and shoot us a message.
Stay away from religious topics, not here on K-Talk. Listen each Sunday evening at 7 p.m. to The Interpreter Show for fascinating religious discussions, hot debates, and the latest in religious scholarship, archaeology, and ancient documents. Whether you're Catholic, Mormon, Protestant, agnostic, and atheist, or something else, you'll want to listen to The Interpreter Show Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. here on K-Talk. You gotta hear it.
I am a veteran. I spent 2 years alone and homeless.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory was finding the support to get back on my feet.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran. When I got out, I felt like nowhere was safe.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory was finding the help I needed. Thanks to DAV, now I feel like I'm human again.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
When it's cold outside, warm up with the hottest live local two-way talk. K-Talk Media, 1640 AM.
Welcome back, comic fans. We now return to Comic.Church, leaving you right where we left off before the break. And now here's your host, Pastor Drew the Fairy Godbrother, the Monsignor of Marvel, Sean Ray, and the Reverend Sith Lord himself, Jesse Stay.
Welcome back to Comic.Church. Yeah, so before the break, we've been talking about the kind of the toxic fan base that goes throughout all of, whether it's Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel, DC. There's just a toxicity.
Pop culture TV shows. I mean, everything.
Where's that? The paper I was gonna. So this is from Wired, a great geek website that gives us some great content. But on that, they had 3 tenets of nerd, and what that is. So 1, a nerd must not harm another nerd, or through inaction allow a nerd to come to harm. The second tenet, nerds must cooperate with other nerds except where cooperation would violate the previous tenet. The third, A nerd must protect the existence of nerddom, except where protections violate the first two tenets. So,
It's awesome.
It's a very basic, but I think that wants to come, or I want to bring that around to what we're going to talk about.
It's frustrating, though, because growing up in the 90s and 80s and everything like that in the latter time, this was something that you had to hide. You had to hide your liking of this and everything like that. And now that it's so mainstream, there are those types of nerds that are like, well, you didn't grow up like it, so they're being the bully. Instead of being bullied because you like this, now they're bullying other people because they're getting into it, and because you're not a deep cut fan.
Yeah.
You're not.
Well, you haven't been a Star Wars fan since the 70s, so you can't join now.
How long have you been reading these comics and stuff? Like, who cares? Enjoy the fact that somebody is liking it, and maybe share some of your knowledge of it. And that's what is so hard for some of these people. And so we've kind of come up with a lot of our, well, they're not our own, but
so what we're doing is
we're
calling them articles of faith for Comic.Church. And, we're developing, and one I want to pull up here. This is one that I actually proposed on our Facebook group, that this should be added as an article of faith, and it's kind of like what you're talking about. It says you're allowed to like a thing without knowing every single fact about it. You're allowed to like a movie without knowing every actor's name, a book without memorizing every page, a video game without knowing all its Easter eggs. Liking things isn't supposed to be stressful. And I think that's one of our tenets here.
Amen.
You don't have to be a super insane geek fan, wearing your outer clothes, your underoos, everything is that. You don't, I mean, if
I'm
that's
wearing my Boba Fett socks
if that's you and that's who you are authentically, welcome. If you don't own a single Marvel or Star Wars or anything, guess what? You're welcome. Come as you are.
That's right.
And so that's one of our tenets.
I have a response to all that, and I can't say it on the radio, but if you're watching the video, I'm wearing a certain shirt with Buddha on it. It says, y'all need to let that stuff go. Except it's not stuff. Or something like that. And it says dash Buddha.
Schitt's Creek is a great series on Netflix.
I love that series.
It's a great way to bypass FCC rules.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's
let Schitt's Creek go.
Exactly. So let's get back to some articles of faith. One of the first ones, of course.
Sorry to my sister Crystal.
We're still working on these. We will get these definitive. We will lock down.
We'll I think we should do more than 12, but we'll canonize them.
We'll do it. But if there's any that you guys feel that should be on there, please put that on our Facebook, and we're going to go through, some of those. We'll find, a dozen, or so that just hit this on the nail.
So
the point is, if we're going to be a church, we need articles of faith.
We need a doctrine. We need a gospel. So
that's what this is.
This is one of the first ones we're going to adopt. We believe that fear is a path to the dark side.
Do you want me to do my Yoda voice?
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. And so we believe that this should be one of our articles of faith here at Comic.Church.
Yoda is one of our, apostles that, from old that we look up to as, knowledge and just so many of the things that he said.
But it's not it's not just geeking out in geekdom. We love Yoda because he's so freaking awesome. But actually because the words and the counsel and the inspiration that he gives is so profound.
And the thing is, you could take it into any aspect of your life.
He is the Buddha of that universe.
And I have one of the little gold book binders that says everything I need to know in life I learned from Star Wars. I need to bring that in.
Well, and just applying it to a regular life. I mean, we believe that fear is a path to the dark side. So much of what's wrong in our society right now is because people are operating from places of fear. And we've talked about on the show before, the otherizing of minority groups. Oh, we've got to fear them. Well, guess what? Once you start down the path to the dark side, fear leads to anger. Oh, I'm angry at all those brown people. We got to build the wall. Anger leads to hate. Well, we just got to lock them up because they're illegal. They're not like us. We got to lock them up. And hate leads to suffering. And that's where we are right now. You never let fear be the organizing structure by which you motivate people.
No.
Because it will lead to destruction every single time.
I'm just going to play devil's devil's advocate, though, as long as we're bringing the wall in, I mean, there's the
Can
fear
you do it without fear
of the wall itself.
Well,
is that also driving?
No, I don't think it's the fear of probably what it represents, and that's not what we want to become.
Mm-hmm.
But
what if we got rid of that too? And where would we be as a society if both sides were removing that fear?
I don't think so. It's apples to oranges. One,
the polarizing is happening because there's fear on both sides.
No, well, maybe let's just build a concentration camp. Well, the people that are against concentration camps, they must be afraid of it. Yeah, we are, because that's not who we are, and that's not where we're going. So, but again, the reason why we're even going that way, because it's not even in reality. It was a conversation that was started as a political means to use fear to get people to come along with the thing. So the basis of the wall isn't based in reality. So there's no.
So
fear
I
in
tend to
it.
live in the middle on a lot of this stuff, and we won't go too far. I'm just but I'm seeing fear on both sides. There's
but here's the thing. I grew up 80 miles from,
and there's reasons
that's why we go with Yoda. The fear leads to the dark
exactly.
side.
But here's the thing. I don't fear brown people. I don't fear others.
Well, and a lot of the right, it doesn't fear brown people either.
But it's not rational. But the entire argument is based on fear.
That's the thing, is neither side thinks that. It's one side is thinking, the other side thinks that, and creating fear out of that.
I disagree on that. It's not both sides, and we are going down the thing, but. It was something that was created out of imagination, using fear to perpetuate an idea that's now taken hold. And just like Yoda said,
it's the dark side.
Yeah.
So what can we use from some of the other ones? I mean, one that I brought up from Dr. Abram Erskine, and now this is the guy that created the serum for Captain America. He says, because the strong man who has known power all his life may lose respect for that power, but a weak man knows the value of strength and knows compassion. And then that brings back into
another Captain America.
With Captain America.
Here, I'll hold it up.
No, it says...
now it just shifted again. Now it shifted to me. Yeah.
We believe that when the mob and the press and the whole world tell you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree by the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move.
I am Groot.
Now that is one... that I love that one. Or there's the great quote, "We are Groot."
Well, and going on another fear topic, this one is from Star Trek Discovery. It's a quote from Michael Burnham. We added the "we believe," but we believe that the only way to defeat fear is to tell it no. No, we will not take shortcuts on the path to righteousness. No, we will not break the rules that protect us from our basest instincts. No, we will not allow desperation to destroy our moral authority. So I think that's another good one. And again, I think coming around all this, fear is such a destructive, polluting. Fear is alive. I mean, it's a conscious energy that doesn't let go once it takes hold.
And a lot of people they have fear because of their freedom. They're going to lose their freedom and everything like that. And so here's another one that Cap says is, may we think of freedom not as the right to do as we please, but as the opportunity to do what is right.
Well, I like that.
So, I mean, and Jesse was looking up some of the other, I mean, you had some God quotes.
There's a couple of good ones. I really think there needs to be a higher power focused quote around the idea of accepting any higher power and that being okay. And I haven't found anything like exactly around that, but I did find a really cool quote from Spock that I think suggests like a certain toxic type of higher power that exists. And this is from the original draft of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. And Spock says, "If this is your God, he's not very impressive. He's got many psychological problems. He's so insecure. He demands worship every 7 days. He goes out and created faulty humans and then blames them for his own mistakes. He's a pretty poor excuse for a supreme being." So I don't know. That's the closest thing I can find on God for an article of faith. But I'm still looking for some better ones.
There's some good ones, and the thing is, with the articles, we don't want them to all just be like these scary fear and things like that. There's some good motivational ones. Like here's one from Walt Disney. The secret of making dreams come true can be summarized in the 4 C's. They are curiosity, confidence, courage, and consistency. And the greatest of these is confidence.
I like that. Save that. Let's put a pin in, because I definitely think we need a couple articles of faith from good old Walt.
One of his other great ones that I just love is, if you can dream it, you can do it.
Yep.
And that's the thing, is where I think a lot of the us as I consider geeks and stuff like that is, if you don't like the way things are going, and this kind of goes back with Captain America. If you don't like the way that things are going, and if you don't like the way that things are made, you don't like what's happening, get up and change it. We had some people come in here and that have seen things like this, and if they don't like what is happening around them, stand up, do something. You have the ability to say something.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to do that. So there's a lot of great ones, and here's a perfect one that I love. From one of the other apostles, George Lucas. Always remember, your focus determines your reality. So if you're focused on the negative of a movie, if you're focused on the negative of the people, and trying to find the negative and the bad about everything, that's all you're going to see.
Yeah.
So if you're focused on, I'm looking forward to a great Star Wars movie. I'm wanting to see lightsabers. I'm wanting to see the whole. Star Trek. I want to see this love. I want to see these relationships. Then you're gonna see the happiness. You're gonna see the good in a lot of these things, instead of such negativity that is so focused on everything that's around us.
I like that.
Do we have time for one last one real quick?
Yeah. Yes, we got 30 seconds.
Okay, so this is from the end credits of Spider-Man Into the Spider Universe.
Perfect.
That person who helps others simply because it should or must be done and because it is the right thing to do is indeed, without a doubt, a real superhero. And then they said, thanks to Stan Lee and Steve Ditko for showing us we're not the only ones.
Oh,
I like
Stan Lee. Hail to Stan Lee.
Definitely. And touching on both those, what you look for is what you're going to see. And your reality is what you create, and make the best of it. You're listening to Comic.Church on K-Talk, AM 1640, real local two-way talk. We'll be back next week.
Enough said.
Hey there, comic book fans and believers in all things geekdom. This is Pastor Drew, the Fairy God Bro, and I just want to let you know that all of us here at Comic.Church are working hard to build a place that we can all come to, a place of refuge, a place to be edified by the universes that inspire us the most. And this show, it's just the launching off point. We invite you to subscribe to our podcast, Church, using your favorite podcasting service. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, TuneIn, and more. Also, please like our Facebook page, Church on K-Talk. On our page, you'll have a chance to interact with us live each Sunday. Plus, you'll have a chance to hear from us as we post our thoughts, inspirational somethings, and whatnots all throughout the week. We have so much in store for 2019 and into the future, and we invite you to come along and be a part of it. We at Comic.Church know exactly how important fans are, and we thank you for taking a chance and being our fans.
Military life is rewarding, but it isn't always easy.
Managing the stress can affect even the strongest warrior.
But I will stay mission ready.
I will keep my mind and body fit.
Talk to my chaplain.
Seek care early. Strive for progress, not perfection.
I got this.
I got this.
Take the first step.
There's no better time than now.
Reaching out is a sign of strength. Visit realwarriors.net or call 800-874-2273.
I am a veteran. I spent 2 years alone and homeless.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory was finding the support to get back on my feet.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran. When I got out, I felt like nowhere was safe.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory was finding the help I needed. Thanks to DAV, now I feel like I'm human again.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.